Hi everyone, this is Diane. I haven't been able to work on these patriotic journals for days. I did get some things listed in my shop, which I needed to do, and I have just been very busy. But thank you for purchasing the vintage book page bundles that I had. There are 2 bundles left if you're interested. One is children's book pages, and the other one is, I forgot which the other one is, but there are 2 bundles left in my shop. So what I want to do today is show you the sewing that I did. I did the stamping on camera, but then I did the sewing off camera. So I added some trim here and a ruffle. I made some ruffles, some navy blue eyelet and rickrack here, some wired ribbon, which was in one of the Happy Mails that I got, and blue pom-pom, navy blue pom-pom, all kinds of fun things. This very wide navy blue rickrack that I've had for a long time. This is a perfect use for it. Some more ruffle here. Is that all? In one signature, there's only one. Well, I think we need to put some more. So what I think I will do, I haven't done yet, is just add some fabric pieces along the edge, like the squares, triangles, whatnot, circles. Let me see what I have. I have my tags and cards pockets here in case I want to add some fabric to them today. All right, and I have these sort of organized. They were once upon a time, these fabric pieces. So here is a leftover remnant, or piece of ruffle. Here, this is what I'm looking for, these little pieces. These are nice big pages, so I can add a big square and triangles. Something like that. I'll just set my sewing machine to zigzag. And we'll just sew these right on. So now this signature, oops, it's got a little piece of washi tape stuck on that. There. So this signature has a ruffle and just some fabric pieces. We have another ruffle here and nothing else. I think I'll add something to this page. Let's do a trim. Maybe some more of that giant rickrack. Why not? So since I haven't been crafting, that's when I get to be chatty with you. I haven't been able to tell you about the train experience that we had in my area. I'd like to know if anyone of my viewers have heard about or seen the big boy 4140 Union Pacific train that's been touring, and I think it's in celebration of the 250th birthday. There is one car that's painted with that on it, happy birthday, 250th birthday, or something like that. Anyway, I'll tell you about that when I'm not sewing. I think it would be fun to put, well, add something to this. I could add, that would be cute. I wonder if I have a yo-yo that would look patriotic. Anything patriotic. That's a nice red one. These are sewn, so this was from that old quilt that was falling apart. And they didn't sew them together, I don't think, the way yo-yos are supposed to be sewn together. They overlap them, so it's really hard to get the stitches apart without cutting the yo-yo, but I don't get too precious about it. So while I'm doing this, the Big Boy 4140, I think is the number, is the largest, from what I understand, it's the largest operating steam engine in the world. And it's Union Pacific, so it's from the west side of the country, and its home base is Colorado. And it's been touring mostly the eastern part of the United States. And it came into New York, upstate New York. So it came through my sister's town where she lives, and she lives on a dead-end street. So, and there's a railroad track at the end of the dead-end street. So it was coming through there. So she and her husband took some chairs and sat down there in the quiet by their street. Other people were there, other local people were there, but it wasn't a big crowd like in other places. I like that. I think I'll probably just glue that on. And they got to watch it go by, and they took video and photos, and they were the first of my sisters to see it. Barbara didn't get to see it. She doesn't live near where they were coming through. But, so yeah, she sent us the videos, and it was so exciting. And so we knew it was coming to Sayre, where I live. Sayre is a railroad town. Used to be, but there's still trains that run through here, and there is still a shop that repairs trains on the other side of the bridge here in Sayre. So anyway, it was coming here, but it was like, it was going to be a layover. It was going to stay overnight in Sayre, but it wasn't like access to the public. We could see it. We could go see it, but I guess there were stops where you could buy tickets and be able to get on it and see it. And I don't know if they took short rides on it. I don't know, but that wasn't an option for us. So this has the ruffle and then the large rickrack. That's cool. And the last signature has pom-pom and then this trim. And that's all I'm going to put on it for now. So these are trimmed out. Pretty cool. And I'm thinking I was going to make some fabric flips, but I don't know if I need to or if I want to. I have enough fabric to do it, but I think I'm going to wait and see what kind of embellishments I add, how many pockets, and I have these that I got in one of my Happy Mails. So I'm thinking I should at least put these in. So let's make a fabric flip. So the excitement was, it was coming to our town on Thursday. And it was supposed to come at like 8 o'clock at night and then leave at 9 in the morning. And it would refuel and take on water because it's a steam engine. It needs a lot of water. And we had, I don't know how they filled it, where they got the water, probably from the river because we're right next to the river, Susquehanna. So I don't know, but I knew they added fuel and water overnight. So they were coming Thursday, and they were coming through sooner than expected, apparently, because they were here at, it was just starting to get dark. Well, no, it was only starting to get dark because it was starting to get ready to storm. So that was all happening at the same time. The train was coming and the storm was coming. So it just added to the intensity and the excitement, I guess. I could add her right there. Let's see, let's put some polka dots behind her. So we weren't planning on going down to see it. I don't know, it just seemed like the newspapers were, like the article, not newspapers, but the articles on Facebook were, like it talked about, they were closing roads, they were closing parking lots. It was like they were trying to keep people from going, but I don't think that was the case. I don't know. I didn't understand everything, but I knew that I wanted to see it. My daughter wanted to see it. I've always loved trains. I've been able to ride on some trains a few times in my life, and we just wanted to see it. It was a historic visit to this railroad town. So anyway, the storm was coming. The wind was whipping. The sky was turning black, and there were warnings of possible hail and high winds and thunder and lightning and all that. And in our homes, we could hear the whistle. We heard that big steam whistle, loud, and I was on the phone with my mom because she was warning me about the storm. And I still had the phone in my hand talking to my mom, and I ran next door. I said, hang on, Ma, I'm going to go talk to Judy. I ran next door and burst into their house. They were eating dinner, and we heard the whistle again. And I said, we hear it, we hear it. And we heard it again, and I said, and they said, apparently it's coming down closer than we thought. We have a track right behind, like, a block away, up behind our house. And they said it wasn't coming down that far. But they said, my daughter said, well, apparently it's coming down further than we thought. And the whistle blew, and I said, I'm going to go find it. And the storm was starting, and I ran out, and I walked to the street where the tracks are. That looks cute. I like it. I'm going to sew this together. And it was starting to rain. And I just kept on walking, and there were a lot of cars parked. Wherever cars could park, they were parked, and there were lots of people. Some coming toward me and some walking the same way I was walking. And I wasn't hearing the whistle anymore, and I thought it must have stopped somewhere. And I got closer, and more people were coming away toward me. So I asked one young man who had his son with him, I said, do you know where the train is right now? And he just pointed, and he said, it's right there. And I looked, and I could see the headlight of the train. It was parked. There is a bridge a few blocks away from me. We call it the railroad bridge, but the tracks run under it. It's a bridge to take you over the railroad. And I go over it when I go to the Tioga Downs flea market, what I talk about all the time. But this time, the train was stopped. He wasn't under the bridge. He was just before you would go under the bridge. and that's where it stopped. And the headlights were still on. And by then, it was absolutely pouring rain. And there was thunder and lightning, and I didn't care. I was drenched. And I was still, I was on the phone with my mom while I was walking part of the way, and she wasn't listening to me. She wasn't understanding that I was walking to the train. No, I told her I was several times. She just wasn't listening. She was talking about the storm, and you have to be careful and stuff. I was out in the storm, and she wasn't getting it. But anyway, I got to see it. It was nothing really. It was a train. I could see it. I could take pictures of it. It wasn't dark enough that I couldn't take pictures of it. But it wasn't doing anything. It was releasing steam. It was just sitting there. It was a gigantic train. It's, like I said, the largest steam engine in operation in the world. Isn't that cute? I love it. I'll make another one for the other journal while we're at it. So I came back home, and it was still pouring rain, and I was just absolutely drenched all the way through. And I didn't care. It was exhilarating. I told my daughter it was the most alive I've ever felt in a long time, until I got struck by lightning. She just laughed. But we decided we were going to go back because it was going to be leaving. I think I like the stripes on her wings. I think I'll use her. We decided we would go in the morning to see it before it left in the daylight, take pictures and stuff. So at 7 o'clock, I try to make myself get out the door and take a walk. I struggle with it because I want to get down here and work, and I never get started on time when I want to and all that stuff. But that morning, I decided I was going to go for a walk, and I walked. Of course, I headed down that way. I thought I'll walk down there, I'll see the train, and then I'll come back here, and then I'll go down with my daughter closer to the time when it's leaving. Well, why didn't I think that there would be crowds of people there again? Why did I think nobody was going to come out? Because last night was the exciting part. So I got, as I was walking there, I realized more and more people were arriving and driving there and walking there and crowding around. And so I texted my daughter and told her, there's a big crowd here already. So she and Teddy, her husband came with her at first. They drove down, and he got to see it, but then he had to go to work. So she took him to work, and then she came back. I went down at like 7:30, and it didn't leave till 9. So I was there for an hour and a half, just standing there. But I wasn't bored. And then my daughter and Teddy showed up maybe half an hour or less before it was scheduled to leave. And so they kept me company, and we took pictures, and we talked and laughed, and it was just sort of a time of camaraderie, because that train brought the whole town out. That brought the town together. And anyway, it wasn't raining. And when it got close to time to leave, it started blowing the whistle, that very loud whistle. And it kept releasing steam because things were running while it was sitting there waiting for checks and everything. Whatever checks they do before they leave. Well, come on. It's stuck on knotted up thread there. So it would release steam, and that was cool too. There. Very cute. Thank you for this fabric, whoever sent it. I think it was Sarah. Not positive, so sorry, Doris, if I said it wrong. It was from one of you. And I'll save this to go on the other journal. So now while we're at it, should I make more fabric flips? Maybe I should have 3 in each journal. I could put a small one on this page because it's a small page. It's going to go right there. Okay, the train was in Sayre, which is south of Waverly, New York, but it was going to go, the next stop was going to be in Owego, New York, which was north. So I was wondering why it was in Sayre and how was it going to be able to go back the other way. Oh, look, I've got, well, these are kind of small. I forgot I had these. But I could use that part. But what was going to happen, it was in Sayre because there's a station there and it fueled, like I said. That's why it was there in Sayre. And it was backing up from Sayre to Waverly, New York. It had to back up. So we didn't get to see it take off like full steam or anything. It honked its horn. It blew its horn several times, and then it just started slowly backing up. And we just watched it back up and fade away. And then it went. There were people, of course, at the switch or whatever it was, where they would get to Waverly and be able to switch tracks and head up to Owego, New York. So there were crowds all along the way. And since then, I've been seeing so many videos of people, not just in New York, because it went to Owego and then it went to Binghamton, New York, but then it spent time in Pennsylvania, like further south in Pennsylvania. I've seen people posting pictures from Pittston and some fabulous pictures of the train going over trestle bridges and just really great photography on these pictures. My pictures were nice, but I mean, I just used my phone. So it's been a big thing around this area, and wherever the train goes, it's being talked about, it's being photographed, it's just causing a lot of excitement. So I'm wondering how many of my viewers have heard about it and or have seen this train. Some people just see it go by, like my sister, which is exciting enough. And some people get to see it stopped, like I did. And some people actually get to get on it. Oh, I have to show you something. The police that were protecting the area, you know, keeping an eye on things, making sure people didn't go where they weren't supposed to go. They were giving out these sticker badges. Now, it was a Union Pacific train, but I think there was a car on it from Norfolk Southern Railway. I think I heard that after the fact. So this is a sticker that's going in my journal, even though it says Junior Agent. And then another guy a little bit later was giving away these lapel pin sort of things. And it says Union Pacific 4014. So that's the number of the train. I guess Big Boy was a line of trains and there were others, but this is for 4014. So those are for my journal. And that's all I have to say about the train. Thank you for indulging me. And my daughter loved it as much as I did. And my grandson enjoyed it. I don't know. he wasn't bored at all. I mean, he's 15. He would rather be on his phone, you know, most of the time. But he came and he seemed to really enjoy it. And they walked, because we live close enough that we could easily walk. So it was a very fun experience to share. I said I was going to be done with talking about the train, so now I am. I'm just looking for a trim to put at the top here. That looks pretty. So I will sew this on. I don't need to do it on camera, or sew it together and then glue it on probably. What did I do with the other one? I think I sewed it on. I'll do that after the video, because I want to move on to something else. We are back at my crafting space, and these are the flips that I just did. I went ahead and sewed them off camera. The second one, I used the portion with this USA sign. A little bit of truck and some pennants fluttering in the breeze. I love the daisies. And yeah, these are sewn on, or glued on, and these are set aside for the other journal. I have 3 for the other journal. Okay, so now I think before we do too much else to these signatures, I want to build out whatever pages need to be built out, and just make sure the pages are ready to receive pockets and ephemera and everything. I got a book, that book about the flag from Doris, and so I have some pages ready to go in the journals. I'm going to use these, and then I found these also. I actually have 3 of these, because one of them is about the flag. But the journals are big enough, 3-inch spines, that I can add some more pages into the signature. So I'll do that, but let's see what pages need to be built out. Anything in here? It's the page we just added some fabric, a fabric flip to. And it is an 8.5 by 11 piece of scrapbook paper instead of a 12 by 12. So it is smaller. And I have some large pieces that I can use to build it up. For example, I would like to use these. These are public sale notification signs, cards. Somebody stamped prices on the back, like stamping off their stamp. But I like the colors, and I like that they're old. I don't know how old they are. Oh, 1958 and 1952. So, how far out does it need to go? Like there. But I think I'd rather put it on this side. So, well, I just have to go to there. That's what's going to tell me. Because this is the 7-inch side. And I have to make sure I have it the right. I don't want it to stick up or below. But of course, I will just, if it's up too high, I can just move the paper down. That doesn't really matter. All right. So then this will create, I'll glue it on so that it creates a pocket here. and it covers up this writing on it. I had selected this to cover the writing up, thinking that the card might go this way. But we're going to go with doing it this way. So I guess I will, lost my pencils. Where did the pencils go? Here's one. I should learn to put things back where they belong, right? I'm going to draw a line around where the pocket will be, and then I will know where to put the glue. Put it right side up. I did. Yay me. And I can embellish with this if I want to. And I think I will. And this will go in the other journal. Let's just see. I know I bought 3 of those 8.5 by 11 papers. Here's another one. And I have this order form that I could, I don't really want to cover. I guess I will. It doesn't really matter. I'd like this part to be visible so that you can write on it. So I'll back it with cardstock, and it won't add anything to the height, but just to the width, and it will be a smaller pocket. Okay, I have both of them glued to cardstock. I'll put one with the other journal. I'll just add these little pieces of ephemera. for fun. Maybe I'll add some washi tape too, for fun. The more the better, right? And that's a fun page. And how deep is the pocket? Not very deep, but we will have some fun things to put in there. What a fun page to turn to, especially paired with that one. That's just fun. Is there anything in here? There should be another 8.5 by 11. There it is. I folded that one evenly, so I could build it out, but I think I'll just leave this one. Let's see if we can place some of the pockets that we already made. I have here with me these little Patriots. What are they called? The official name is Uncle Sam's Little Helpers. I've been calling them Little Patriots. But I want to make sure that they have a place in these journals. This would be a good place for a pocket. Tuck him right in there. Put a tag in there with him. And of course I'll have to decorate that tag. And that's all I have for ready-made pockets. So we are going to have to make some more pockets. I have popcorn and peanut bags. I like that with it. And that will require a long, skinnier tag than what I have. Okay, I brought over some potential pocket materials. And I like these quotes, these parts of the lyrics from the Star Spangled Banner. So I'll put 2 in each journal. That came from that book about the Star Spangled Banner. I have these wallpaper pieces that I got in a Happy Mail. And I think that would make a nice pocket for one of those big tags. And a very easy one. I've already done a lot of work on these, so a little bit of easy would help. Okay, there's that one. This is the war loan paper that I bought at the flea market. That would make a wonderful pocket. I was thinking about putting on a medallion with those tickets. I wonder if I have any medallions cut. I'll check these arrows that I've made. That's cool. I like that. What a fun pocket. That might be the best one for there. Oh, I've got those big cards that I've made. I should be using some of those. That one's a pocket. I mean, I don't need to put the inserts in right now. But that will fit. put that there. And that might be a little too short for that. I don't know. Let's just put this on. I brought these over to see if I could make pockets with any of it. Let me see where I want to put these things. This would be the last signature. And this is toward the end of the song, so I'll put that there. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air. Trying to decide what I want to put behind it. I could put like a strip of cardstock that I edge punch and make it look pretty. Or that's probably what I'll do. So I'll cut a strip of this. I'll cut it about 1.5 inches. I'm going to cut it wider than that. And I can edge punch it and see if I need to make it smaller. Okay, let's try this punch. That sets it off beautifully. It's actually 2 days later now. I stopped my video because I'd been at it for so long. And I was up late. I couldn't sleep last night, and I did a lot of work. And I don't want you to see anything extra that I've done since you saw we finished that other one. So I just wanted you to see. I have to end this video in a better way. So I did the first phrase of the song, "Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light," and I glued that on just like the first one. So I'm going to get ready to make another video to show you all the things I did while you weren't watching. Hopefully you were sleeping. Have a creative day. Bye.